Hi everyone, I'm Karen Combs and I want to welcome you to my FlossTube number 45. It is March 16th, 2025 that I'm recording it. I meant to come back last week, but it's just been busy, so got a lot to show you. Hopefully you'll grab your stitching and enjoy this. It might be a long one, but I've got some things that I picked up from the framers to show you. I've been working on a lot of different things, and I have something I'm going to show you that I want to see if anyone watching knows what booklet or who the designer was. So stay tuned for that. But let's get to the things I picked up from the framer. This is American Welcome by Plum Street. I showed you that before finished, but now it's finally finished. Fully finished. It's on Old Amana, 36 count Old Amana that I got from Farm Girl Dry Goods. It's the called for floss, so it does have some color and cotton, some DMC, and here it is. I already have a mess around me. We'll see where all this goes. I love the frame. Here it is. Let me get where I can, there. I don't believe I made any changes. Might have left off one little flower or something. But I just love the linen. I love how it turned out. I love this frame. Let me back up so you can see it. I love the frame. It's very reminiscent of the piece behind me, Winter is Past, if you see that. I think that has a blue, this has a teal frame. I just love it. If you watch the opening, I showed you a wall, and that is where this is going to live, on one of my walls. If you watched the video of my sewing area, it's over where the bookcases are. Oh yeah, this is gonna be a problem. Got so much here. Then I also picked up the Americana Red that I did, October House. And you'll notice that there's an alphabet and some other borders here. I did not stitch those. I chose not to. I did make some changes. But again, I love how the frame turned out. Let me get where I can see what you're seeing. This is on, I think it's 36 count doubloon and Classic Colorworks Red Licorice. But you'll notice I took off the alphabet, I added my initials, I added some more quilt blocks, changed the side border. Oh, it's just, I just love it. I love the frame. I like how the black kind of highlights the linen and how the red highlights the floss. I love it. That's also on that wall. And then this one, Mary Ann Copp, 1839, by With Thy Needle and Thread. I made big changes to the colors of the house. Not so much any of the structure or the design, but just the colors of the house. And I talk a little bit more about that in one of my previous videos. I'm going to make a note to link to that, so if you're interested in the changes, I've got to look it up and see which one it is, but I'll put that in the description. And I do try to put things in the description that you can just click on, and so you don't have to search for them. This one's a big one. And I've got to tell you, this one, I had a frame picked out, and then I rethought about it, and I'm glad I changed it. This is a big one. Oh. Here's the frame. But I'm going to have to stand up, I think, and move my chair back There we go. I don't even think I can get it all in the shot. There we go. Oh, so pretty. So the brick, I darkened the brick in the mortar and changed some of the, in front of the fence and the road. But I'll go into a little more detail about that on, it was a few months ago, FlossTube. I don't know which one, I'll link to it. So that, or those are the ones I've picked up. They're all stacked up right here when I do it. Okay. So I did work on a lot of different things. Should I do this first? I'm not going to do this first. I'm going to do this after. Did you catch a look at that? So I had asked the question last time about what are the Rhode Island samplers for Plum Street, because I had a couple of them, but I didn't know what they were and I couldn't find them listed anywhere. And Angela put a note in the last video. Thank you very much, Angela. I appreciate that. And these are the Rhode Island samplers. And I'm going to, have I already lost? I just want to make a note. Then I'm going to link to that. I'm going to write it so you'll know what they are. Okay. I thought I'd already buried it, but I found it. So these are the Rhode Island samplers by Plum Street. New Constellation. And I actually started this one. I think I showed it last time. This one called for floss. So it's a combination of some classic Colorworks, Weeks, and DMC. Really, oh, look at that. The colors are really quite gorgeous. And I decided to do this on what? I don't remember. I looked at all these before I started, but it took me so long to get everything organized that I thought, you're not going to remember. And I didn't. It's on 40 Count Old Stationery by Seraphim. I'm glad I looked that up. I would not have remembered that. But this is one of the Rhode Island samplers, and I have a nice corner start on that. That is the color. So I'll go closer so you can see the stitching, but the color changes just a little bit. So that's the first one. There are 6. And the other ones I haven't started yet. American Sampler is one I didn't have, so I ordered it. I've seen it, I just didn't order it. And the verse, give me, you know I'm reaching for my glasses. Give me a calm and thankful heart, from every murmur free. The blessings of thy grace impart, protect our liberty. Sic temper tyrannus. And this was inspired by the state of Virginia. And the motto I just read is Virginia's state motto. So a lot of the motifs in here come from Virginia. So that's one. Now I'll take my glasses off. These are the threads. I guess I opted, it's mostly Gentle Arts and Classic Colorworks, but I guess I opted for the DMC. Take the glasses off. I don't know why, but that's what's in here. So I might change my mind, but there are the DMCs. All right, just drop these. I hope I don't have to pick them back up because I can't. A quality sampler is another one of the Rhode Island samplers. So this has the Declaration of Independence, the flag. No, Declaration of Sentiments. That's why I got my glasses. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men and women are created equal, and Just looking here, it doesn't have any notes about the inspiration. But that one, I guess I also opted to get the DMC. I think I had to order this, so I went ahead and ordered the DMC. Same thing with the other one. Probably I was ordering so much, I thought, no, you can't do all the hand-dyed this time. So I did the DMC. Heritage Sampler is another one. And I've had this one because I have already prepared all of the flosses. So it's on the ring. I've got the tag so I know what it goes with. And remember last time I said I needed to do that? I did it. Anything I was working on that did not have a tag, I went ahead and did it. Let's see. There's no special notes about this one either. But that is one of the Rhode Island samplers. Heritage Sampler. Two more. Jack's Bash, and I know quite a few people are working on this or have worked on it. I had to order it. I didn't have it. Let me see if there's any special notes as far as the inspiration. I'll show you what it looks like, then I'll turn it. There we go. Jack's Bash. I've seen several people work on this really wonderful sampling. And again, I have all the DMCs. I must have ordered all the DMCs at once and took a look at first how much the hand-dyed were and went, nope, since I have to order so much, I'm doing DMC. And the last one is, and the newest, is Salem Sampler. And I purchased this last fall with, I think, let's see. Now I did my own, no, let me rephrase that. These are the called for, so I already have a tag ready. It's all set, but I don't have these on floss drops yet, or the tags. But I did order it from Needle and Flax and got the called for linen, which is, there we go, that's the color. It's a beautiful light brown, Gallows Hill. But you could substitute any lovely lighter brown. So those are, let me put it all back together so I know where everything is. Those are the 6 Rhode Island samplers. If I've missed anything, please let me know. I thought perhaps, get it out of the double bag, I thought perhaps New World Sampler was one of them, but it's not on the list. So do I have, yeah, I do have these ready. So I don't know when I'll start them, but I do love these at Plum Street. Well, showed you the American Welcome. So let me show you the things that, I'm just looking here. The things that I have a question about, I've been busy cleaning out since last year. Just slowly going through drawers, and for the last 7 months, I've been cleaning out our downstairs. Because both my parents are gone now, but for different reasons, we had to just quickly store a lot of their things. My brother has a storage unit up in Michigan where they lived, and I brought over many trips, many boxes home. And it's been 18 years, 15 years, something like that, since some of these boxes have seen the light of day. I've gone through all of them. I have put things into Ancestry that needed to. We've digitized some things. We've saved some things. That's what I've been busy working on. And I also have been upstairs, and I often think if you're in your home where your kids grew up, sometimes their bedrooms, now that they're adults and have moved on, you have a lot of their stuff still. And so I've been going through that. And I found some of my things, which I didn't even know I still had. If you watched my first FlossTube, I talk about my journey with stitching that I started when I was 16. Well, guess what? I found two things that I thought were long gone. And this is one of the things I want you to help me with. Now, this I did as a poor college student. It's just on cardboard. I mean, it's pathetic, but there it is. Look at this, black work in gold. I did this, I was either somewhere between, I don't think I did this when I was 16. I think I did it when I was 18 and in college, but it's got gold work. It's got satin stitch with gold work chain. I mean, why am I afraid of specialty stitches? I did this at 18. So, but I also know there was another design that went with this, and I don't know what it is. I don't know the designer. It was a kit, or was it a booklet? I don't know, but I don't have it anymore. Does anyone recognize this? If you do, put it in the comments. And that leads me to another thought. I think I'm going to put some kind of information, just type it out and put it on the back of my framed pieces. So there's a little bit of information for me later on or for my family. So if I had done that with this, I would know. So I love this. I will have to get it framed a little better. I even like the green, and it's very reminiscent of, well, this is a more sage green in this room, but obviously I like green. So that's the first one I found. I don't even know its name, but it's a little gold work and black work little frog. This I was shocked to find. I didn't even remember working on this. I know it. I didn't iron it. It's wool on linen, and I did it. I started it when I was 18, finished it when I was 19, so finished it in 1976. I know it was a kit, probably Elsa Williams. Here's my love of gardening, even then. Satin stitches, all kinds. What is that? It looks like satin stitches with French knots on the end. I don't even remember doing this. Here it is. Now, granted, it's not the most beautiful work, but it's done. And I did it as a teenager, and I wasn't afraid to tackle it. So here it is, and I'm saying that to myself because you'll see later some things I've been working on that I thought, oh, suck it up and get to it. So I don't know. I'm thinking, should this be turned into something I'll use every day? It's too big for a needle book, obviously, but I don't know. Give me some ideas. Because I'm thinking of doing that because I was very thrilled to find it. Very thrilled. So anyway, that's something I found. I did find a silhouette of a mother holding a child that I did for my daughter, but I didn't bring that because it has her birth date on it, so a little more personal. So I did a lot of stitching that I'd forgotten about. Here's another thing I want to ask you. Do you recognize this? And I've showed this before, but okay, this is on Ada. Look at this cute little whale. I know it had to be from a booklet, maybe Leisure Arts, maybe Debbie Mum. It's from the 80s, the early 80s. Does anyone recognize this? I really would like to do some more from the booklet. Do I have the booklet? No, but I would like to do some more. Anyway, if you recognize this, please put it in the comments. Then I'll know what it's from and where to look for it. But anyway, those are some things that I found that I did years and years and years and years ago. So I think what I'll show you next, or what I've been working on a lot of things. Let's see, let me put the glasses over here. I've got so many piles. I think I only worked on this for an afternoon because honestly, I don't know. I think I just finished a couple houses. This is There Is Liberty by Plum Street. Called for floss. And this is on a piece espresso. I think it's 36 R&R espresso. So you can see the little houses there. I think I worked on them a little bit. Let me go back. That's the color. So I think, let me look. Yeah, that's about as wide as it's going to be. No, I've got to do one more word. So I have plenty. Yeah, that's as long as it's going to be. And I've got one more word. So I have plenty of linen, and I know I have some stuff over here, but that'll be hidden. And I had somebody ask me if I made a mistake. Somewhere in here, there's a lot of spacing. No, that's how it's charted. I don't know which word it was, but so worked on that. There is Liberty. So I just, no, that's not, never mind. I was thinking, is that one of the Rhode Island? And it's not. I didn't show the project bag on that other one. You've seen it before. I'll show it. I'll talk more next time. This doesn't even have a project bag. It's in a sack. Oh, I gotta do better. This is the Sampler Company, Brenda Keys, and this is New England Sampler, using the called for. Here they are. Yeah, they're kind of wind it up a little bit. There's a lot of colors in this, and I worked on this for about a week. It's on, if I remember, 25 count Lugana. I think it's potato, and I'm doing it over 1. So I got the alphabet all the way across. I got all that done. Worked on the houses. I'll show you. I worked on quite a bit. Now, this is a big piece, but you can see how wide it's going to be. Now, here it is, doing it over 1, and I really enjoy doing over 1 on the Lugana. Something about the threads are rounded. I just find it very enjoyable. Let me get close so you can see. So there it is. Started working on there's a ship down there. Started working on that. I love the row of houses. So I just worked on it, I think, almost a week. Just kept working on it till I didn't want to work on it anymore. And it's like, okay, I'm gonna move to the next thing. Then I'm going to show you right now a series of hard things that I decided to do. Actually, I did those really in the last week, but I'll just go ahead and show you. And by hard, I just mean either big or I was avoiding it because I don't know. I don't know why. This is Anne Tong Uvendel, and I haven't worked on her for a while, so I decided to pull her out. I'm using the Vicki Clayton Silk Pack for her, and Sleeping Bear. I think I'm doing 46 count Sleeping Bear by Needle and Flax. So I worked on some more flowers on the border. They take a while. So I worked on her a couple of days and got some more of the border done. Oh, this is a big one. That's not gonna work. I'm gonna have to move the chair back. There we go. So I got the border all the way around, and you can see. Let me try to. She is a beautiful, beautiful sampler. I know I have to do the over 1 up there. I've done some. So I worked on and decided to go ahead and get, so I'm sorry about that. That was too close, but I don't know how to move the chair up otherwise. So that's the color of the linen. So I don't really want to lay her down. Let me put it over the frame. Worked on her for 2 or 3 days. Let me move that there. And then I thought, well, I'm going to pull out some things that I haven't worked on for a while. And I know I said I was going to every day do 1 thread of on Harriet Salt, 1 length. Have I done it? No. So I thought, all right. I did it for a while and then I didn't do it. So I pulled her back out. And this is on 56 count. It's not platinum. This is one that Jean from the attic, I called and said what I wanted. I wanted to do Harriet Salt and I wanted them to pick the linen. So this is a Jean pick, so it's very special. And she sent several 103s and Swasserfine. Where is she? She's on, well, she should be one of the first there. 56 count. It's parchment. I was going to say platinum. It's parchment. So, and I've talked about her before, but I did do a few more letters. So, I mean, this piece of linen's huge. That's a little terrifying that's all going to be filled. So I just pulled her out of the hoop. So pulled a few more linens, a few more letters, and you'll notice, that's the color. You'll notice I have some of the letters darker. The lighter letters are done with the Swasserfine, and the darker letters are done with the 103. I'm going to go real close because I know there's been questions about coverage. What should you do? Well, that's a personal choice. Jean sent both, and I liked the Swasserfine and then the 103 for the darker. So that was my personal choice, but she sent both because she said, I'm not sure what you want to do. I said, I'm not sure what I want to do, so please send both, and I'll show you the colors. So this one's a mess. The darker one is 103. $335. So that's the darker, and the lighter is Surfine or Swasserfine in color $24.99. Now let me put them side by side. So you can see, there they are. So that again is just personal choice, because when I talked to Jean about it, she said either would be fine. It's your choice. Some people like the lighter coverage, some like the fuller coverage. So if you're thinking of doing something on 56 count, you can see an example there. So I pulled that out, did a couple of letters before I started. I need to do some more. I haven't worked on this one in a while, and I love it. I don't know why. I think it's because it looks scary, but it's not. You just take it a stitch or a section at a time, and that's just like life, isn't it? You just take it a bit at a time and try not to worry about what's ahead or worry about what happened in the past. You just focus on what you're doing right then, just like our stitching. At least that's what I try to do. Doesn't always work. But it is the Scarlet Letter needlework panel of a fruit tree with 2 animals, $16.90. So there's a lot of over one on this, and there's a lot of colors. This is the DMC, but the colors are stunning. Look at that. Oh, there's a lot of colors in this. And I'm just going to flash real quick well, here's the colors. And you could do it in a Versoix if you would like. Because there were so many, I chose to do the DMC. And I'm just gonna real quick, the chart is so well done. Makes it very easy to see what you're doing. And I'm doing this on, I think it's 36 count. Like I said, I looked it all up. Do I remember? No. It's gonna be full coverage, so that's not why I'm looking it up. I wanna see the count. It's on 36, Water Moon. So I'm finding 36 on this to be just fine, even the over one. And I believe I'm not doing the full cross on the over one. I think I'm doing the tent, yes. So I worked on, let's see, some more of the animal and over in the tree. I'm kind of outlining the over one so I can work on that. So this is gonna be full coverage, so it doesn't matter what the linen looks like. I believe that poor little lamb is in the mouth of a wolf, but we'll just pretend they're friends and they're going for a walk. Yeah. So anyway, there it is. But the over one lends a beautiful texture. And the animals and the plants down in here, I know are over one. I haven't gotten up to the top yet. So the over one may be all in the bottom. So I did pull that out, and I worked on that a day or so. And I guess I just get intimidated by it, and then I don't work on it, and that's one of those days I went, oh, just suck it up and pull it out and work on it. And I did, and I really enjoyed working on it. So it's like, why weren't you working on this? I don't know. Here's my other hard one. When I say hard, I shouldn't say that because I don't want to intimidate anybody. What's the word? Sometimes stitching is mindless because you're filling in. Oh, my stuff just fell. I might have to stop because it's all on the floor. Okay. So sometimes, well, I don't even know what I was saying. Sometimes stitching for me is mindless because I've outlined something and I'm just filling it in. And there are times that I just want to sit and stitch and not think. But there are other times that I want a little more challenge. Sorry, my floss bling just crashed. So this is one that I've been working on, and I pulled her out a couple days ago, and I'll show you the changes that I made, just one. But I'm really enjoying working on her, and I don't, again, know why I set her away for so long, but it is Dorcas Haynes. I worked on her a lot and then put her away because I started doing the satin stitch, and I don't like how it looks, and then I didn't go anymore, and I put her aside. So I pulled her out, and again, just suck it up and do it. So I think after I found that piece I did with all the satin stitch when I was a teenager, I thought, really, no excuses, just get to it. So where's my, oh, my flosses are over there. I'm not going to pull them. I am using a Versoix. Yeah, they're all over there. Not going to get them. All right, I have some hanging threads because I'm working on a double meandering something band, so it's just going to be how it is. But here she is, and I'm doing brighter colors than the Scarlet Letter calls for. There she is. I know this is 36 count. And I got the tops finished. I've started working on the satin stitch. I have all the alphabet. I finished that, and I started working on this band. Now this is going to be all queen stitches and detached buttonhole. So I thought, okay, you're just going to not worry about it and do the outline, and it's just like the satin stitch. You'll just do it. Now I did make one change. In the band, no, it's down here. That calls for diagonal double running stitch. I think that's correct. Let me look real quick. Yes, diagonal. Yes, diagonal double running stitch. And I did it, and actually it's in 2 colors, so it's alternating. I did it and it looked very messy. So I took it out, and I did it in 1 color, and I didn't like it. And so then I took it out, and I tried it in a different way, and I still didn't like it. So what I decided to do is this. In that band, I did just cross stitch as the diagonal, which gives an interesting texture, and then did just cross stitch in the rest of it. I know that's not following the exact reproduction, but after literally an entire day stitching and ripping and stitching and ripping, I thought, okay, I can either get this little section done or this will always languish. So I decided to go ahead and just do it that way. And I know some of you may disagree with that, but I love this sampler. And I just didn't like how my stitching looked. So I decided to change it. Now I'm going to show you a couple things. Let me go back up here. So I just did cross stitch, and that does alternate in the pattern. So that's what I did. Now you looked at it very close up. I don't think anyone that's not a reproductionist will even notice. So that was the change that I made. I'm not going to worry about the detached buttonhole. Well, yeah, that's on that next section. Or the queen stitch yet, because I'm not there yet. But there are 2 books that I want to recommend that if you're working on Dorcas and you're not sure about the stitching, because there are some diagrams in here. Let me just flash it real quick. Diagonal double back stitch, maybe not running stitch. Okay, but it shows this way. Well done. Shows this way, but this band goes this way, this way, this way, this way, this way. So you need all of them. So there's 2 books I want to recommend to you. One is Darlene Osteen's The Proper Stitch. And look, there's a section. That's not the same sampler, but there's a section. Excellent diagrams. So that's one, because, I mean, it's just filled with beautiful diagrams. So that's going to help you with the stitches. The other one is this book, and I hope it's still in print. And I bought this before I even returned to stitching. I guess, you know how you have those things you see and you think, well, I'm not really stitching now. Do I need that? I'm glad I did it. It is. It's by Amy Mitten. I'm just going to hold it up. Montenegrin. The Autopsy of the Montenegrin Stitch. I hope I have that correct. And it's, you can stand it up, but this shows every direction that this stitch goes in. Now here's my question. I tried to look it up. I could not find it. Is the diagonal double back stitch the same as the Montenegrin stitch? Looking at the diagrams, they look similar, maybe a little different, but I thought this is, I'm just going to show you one section. See how this shows you going down? So if you're working on a band that's going down, it'll show you, and it even has it going down into or going up into. It's 100 and some pages, or maybe it's 200, over 100 pages, all wonderfully illustrated of this stitch. So no matter what way it's going to show you in a beautiful diagram. So let me show you again. So those two books, if you're working on especially the 17th century reproduction samplers, those are going to help you. And I did use this when I did one of my things, and I think it just looked too thin and a little messy, and I decided to make that change as I described it. So working on Dorcas Haynes, there she is, one of the prettiest samplers. I hope I can do her justice. I'm just going to do my best, which is all any of us can hope for. All right, how much is on the floor? Oh, I gotta get it, because I gotta get it. All right, I'm gonna stop this video, move some things, and then I'll be right back. Okay, sometimes I'll clean everything up. This time I just moved things and came right back. All right, what else have I been working on? Well, I pulled out Heartstring Samplery Coffee Quaker. I know I talked to you about this before. Here's the threads using the called for. I think I did substitute one color. There's a corn silk that totally disappeared, so I had some chickpea left over from Mary Ann Copp. I added her in. So work done this one a little bit. This is on Star Hollows. I think it's 40 count Star Hollows by R&R. So just worked on finishing some of the motifs and started another one. Worked on that one for maybe a day. I'm gonna put them back in and put this on it. Not very long. I just thought I'm going to do, I think I finished one of the motifs and started another one. I think actually I finished two. I worked on that. I know exactly where I'm going to put that in my kitchen. Just need to get it done. And then I worked on, I do have two new starts I'm going to show you. I worked on One Stitch at a Time by Lottie Da. And this is a stitch along, a Sal with Across the Pond group on Facebook. They hold a wonderful chat once a month, or you can just belong to their Facebook group. So I am doing my own Vicki Clayton conversion. I just looked at the colors called for and went on Vicki's website, because she has a wonderful information page where you can go from DMC to her threads, or from over dyed or hand dyed. And what am I working on? Okay, and it is on 40 count Miss Crescent's Crown Linen Madeline. And I worked on this. I got part of the bottom border done, and then I realized one of the flowers is the wrong color, and I had to take it all out. So here's what I've got. You can see I've just got this and the bottom border, and it will be done. At first I thought the house, here's the color of the linen. At first I thought the house was maybe too light, but now I like it, so I was going to outline the windows, but I think they're okay. I'll make that decision when I get it more done. One of my new starts, and this one's going to be, at least in my mind, a little controversial. Maybe most of you don't care. I hesitated even showing it to you, but I'm going to. So, it was over a year ago that I was watching The Attic, and Jean was talking about this wonderful chart by Erica Michaels, Constant Companion. and she was doing, can be done over silk gauze, but she was doing it on like 40 count over 1, or probably 56 over 1. But the verse, and I'll show you what I've done so far, the verse is wonderful. And the border, and you get 2 patterns, the border is very similar in both. So I'll hold it so you can see. And here are the colors. These are weeks. And I know Jackie at Comfort Stitching showed her gorgeous dinky dye conversion. And I almost thought about switching. And then I thought, no, you've already got all this ready. Just start. So I did. Started with the border and did the verse. So I got the bones of the border, got the verse, and I'll show you in a minute because it's not going to look anything like this. And I started on the border, and for me personally, I did not like the shapes. I don't know what it was. These were the 2 colors that were used together. And I've used red and blue together before, but something about it, for me, I just don't like it. And I debated what to do because I love the sentiment in the verse. And the verse is, no one can look upon the needle without emotion. It is a constant companion throughout the pilgrimage of life. And I attest to that. I believe that. For me, it has been. And I was really discouraged because I thought, I mean, I love it, but I'm not loving the shapes in the border. And I'm not loving the colors in the border. So what do I do? So I was working on one day at a time with those colors, and then I added in a darker blue. And I'm going to use these colors in the border. And I'm going to do what our schoolgirls did when they were creating their designs. They had pattern books, or they had a teacher that had patterns. Because how else would they do it? I mean, we have books that have these patterns in them. So I pulled out some of my old reference books. I mean, from the 70s reference books. And why, as a teenager, I was collecting historical motifs on historical samplers. I don't know, but I did. And I pulled out one of the books and I started looking at the motifs, and that's what I decided to do. So I'm making up my own border. And I know that I'll have to fill in some things, but I'm going to get the whole border done, and then I'll decide where I need to add a few little motifs. I know, it's like, show it already. Where did I do? I'm going to, one more time, show you, because it's going to look shockingly different. Here it is. Now, the outline of the border is the same because I had finished that and I had to take out all the border I did, but this is what I replaced it with. And it's in progress. Now, you may like what I'm doing, you may not like what I'm doing and like to, as designed. And that's okay, either way. But there it is, that's the color of the linen. But I am doing this little flower bud around the corner. And you'll notice I just have the leaves on each edge. And then the motifs in the middle. I've added these floating stars as, again, just a kind of a nod or an homage to my quilting, love of these old designs. Again, I've gradated some of the colors because a lot of my quilts were gradated. A lot of my fabric designs were gradated. But here it is. And I will decide what I'm going to do or what additions I'll need to do once I get all of the border done. But there it is. I hope you liked seeing it. I hope you liked hearing why I did it. If you don't like that I changed it, I understand. And I can argue both sides here. I can argue that I bought the pattern, I liked the pattern, I should do it exactly as it's charted. But for me, it's going to be something I'm going to work on for a long time, and it's going to be something that I want to hang on my wall. So I want to like it when I look at it, not look at it and go, yeah, I wish I'd changed that border. Wish I'd changed that color. So again, that's just my personal choice. And if you have a different personal choice, wonderful. I think it's just like quilting. There's applique, there's piecing, there's modern, there's applique, there's working with reproduction fabrics, there's working with contemporary fabrics. I loved taking historical designs and making them look three-dimensional, making them look different. I wrote a lot of books and designed a lot of things about three-dimension in quilts, and putting transparency in there, putting motion in there. I just love doing that. So for me, taking something that's historic and kind of tweaking it, I've always done that with my quilts. So it kind of lent itself to doing it in the stitching. The other new start I had, I showed this to you before. This is Betsy's House. And this is one that I purchased at an estate sale from a wonderful stitcher. Speaking with some of the people that knew her. Wonderful, wonderful lady. There were two patterns in this bag, along with some 32 count vintage exemplar. And we talked about it last time. I was debating, and I even pulled all this flower thread, thinking, well, 32 count, I could do the flower thread. I did have a couple comments I wanted to share about that. Christy mentioned that the soie de jais works well on 32 count, which I appreciated hearing that. And I'm not showing this, but I did want to mention this too, that Beth mentioned when I showed the painter's thread last time, she mentioned Needle in a Haystack had it. So thank you for that. Because Thread Nuts, you can order it. That's the distributor. Also, they sell retail. But Needle in a Haystack have it. So back to Betsy's House. I started on this linen. And I'm so used to working on higher count that I really didn't enjoy the 32 count. So I switched the linen to 40 count Dames of a Needle Mad Hatter. And here's the linen. And you can see on the cover, it's a pretty good match. Let's see, I don't want to show that yet. So I got a good start on it. I'm using the called for. Oh, I didn't put a tag on this after I told you I did all of them. I didn't do it on this one. Oh, well. No worries. I will do that. I need to set that aside. So I am loving how this looks on the 40 count. All right, here's the linen. And here's what I've done so far. It's just so cute. So I worked on that for a couple days, and I was glad I made that change because I'm loving it, and there's enough linen. There's more than enough. I'll be able to do the Red Cottage and then maybe even some other ones because I have a 1/4 yard. Oh, it's a big piece. So anyway, I'll be able to do several things on that. So that was my other new start. Move that aside. Okay, let me move these out of the way. What else do I have to show you? I'm going to show you what I'm thinking of working on till we meet again. And I do have a couple purchases. I did get some market things. And I told myself I was just going to get a couple. And so I placed my order for a couple things. And a couple more. And a couple more. And then a bunch more. Totally blew that, so I'll show you those. It's like, oh well, that's all right. But I did order this before all the market wonderful things happened. This is the Scarlet House Eleanor Roberts. This is an exclusive to Hobby House. So I think they still have them available. I love that triple house with the crows, I just love it. So I haven't kitted it yet, but I did want to get that, so I did that. And I purchased a couple things, a couple other things. Oh, and I got something to show you that I'm debating on. Grand Old Flag by Brenda Gervais. I love that she's on a spool with bittersweet. So that could go, that could go on that linen with Betsy's house. Ooh, okay, I need to put that together. Yep, I need to get the floss for that because I'm going to put all those on there. So ordered that. Glad I showed you that because now I know what I'm gonna do. And then this one, Stacy Nash, Maria Higginson Sampler. I love the perspective of the walkway. It's a 1-point perspective going up to the door. The trees, the border, oh, I like all of it. So here it is. And this has a, let's see. It's all weeks. I'm trying to see if maybe those are DMC numbers. No, I think it's all weeks. So I haven't pulled for this yet. No, I'll pull the weeks. So here, look at the perspective on that walkway. I like the blue roof and the kind of weird brick. And then the shutters aren't on the side. It's like a transom on the top of the windows. I really like this one. It's 228 by 233. Maria Higginson, 1837. It's an adaptation by Stacy. That might be something I want to kit. I'm getting to go to the attic soon, so I might just kit that while I'm there. Okay, glad I'm showing you because now I'm kind of thinking about this stuff. Now this one you're going to go, what'd you buy? This is from 1989. I went on eBay and I bought several older samplers or kits. And this one is Williamsburg by Elsa Williams, Around the Palace Green Sampler. Now it's kitted with Ada, which I will not, it's 14 count. I'm going to switch it to a higher count. And I might even do Lugana over 1. But okay, here it is. I love visiting Williamsburg. I love the architecture there. And what I'm thinking is I'll do a higher count linen. Here's the floss. I might even change the floss to hand-dyed. But what I'm thinking is in the middle where the sampler are, I think I might do some specialty stitches in there. Because the alphabet lends itself to Algerian eyelet, maybe rice stitch, 4-sided stitch in the border. I don't know. That's what I'm thinking. And it's, the name's right down there, Around the Palace Green. I just really like the design. I thought, I need to get that. So that one I just came yesterday. Now what I am going to start this summer is my husband and I have a driving trip, a big driving trip. We're going to be gone a couple weeks. And I know I can't not stitch for 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks. I know I can't. It's just not. And we got a lot of driving. So I thought, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to start this sampler company. Is this Plymouth? I think this is Plymouth Colony. It's got a lot of fill-in. I don't have the name on it. I'm pretty sure it's Plymouth. Now, I can't see it right now, but here are the flosses. I have them all ready. Yes, Plymouth Sampler. I wrote it on the tag. I can't in the car stitch very well. And I know I can't stitch on linen in the car. I've tried. It was not pleasant for me. And it surprises me because I can read in the car, I can do knit, I can do all that, but I just couldn't. So I purchased some Aida. I have 18 count and 20 count. So this is the 20 count ivory. And here's the 18 count. I got antique white and sand. And I'm thinking, because 20 count is equivalent to 40 count size-wise, I'm thinking I can stitch that in the car. I think it's trying to count the two threads. It's going to be hard for me. So I thought, well, 18 is equivalent to 36 count, so I'm not sure. This is the 18, here's the 20. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to start it, and I'm going to try it on a little trip just to see if it's easier. And I have Q-snaps. I could put it on a Q-snap, and I wouldn't have to take my frame and just have it on the Q-snap. Anyway, that's got that all ready. If any of you have hints for stitching in the car, let me know. What I want to work on the next little bit is, of course, just because I say that's what I want to work on, look what I did this time. You just never know what it is that I'm going to work on. I don't know till it hits me. M Woods, and I'm thinking I might take this when I go to the attic, since I kitted it there and Jean helped me. So I'm using, this is in my little antique drawer, I'm using 103s and some Belle Soie. And you saw this. Now, you'll recognize the stars. They're shaded in a similar, but not exact, way to what I showed you with Constant Companion. So I showed you this last time, but I've been working on her. Sorry for the threads, but I'm working on a double border there, so I love how this looks. I just love this sampler. So I think I'll be working on that before I go and while I'm there. I need to work on this. You saw the January one I did, and it was a January start. That's not it. I have 3 things in here. It's the Simply Winter, Simply Summer. It's all the seasons. Simplies by the Drawn Thread. So I need to do Simply Spring. And I'm doing it vertically. So I have winter done, and this is on 40 count Elephant Run. My neighbor is starting to mow, so hopefully that won't be a problem. Either that or edging their driveway. No. So there's the winter. I just removed the alphabet. So Simply Spring, I'm just doing the houses and the tree and the bird, not the alphabet. And the back cover shows it vertically, but it does have the alphabet. And it was Stitchy Linda on Instagram, and she also is on FlossTube with Chrissy, Finally a Found Girl, and she just did a FlossTube with Peter, oh, for Pete's sake. They both have already done this, so that's where I have the inspiration from. So that's to say I need to get spring on there, so I'll probably do that right away, because this only took me a couple days to do. So I'll do that. I need to set that out and do that right away. Okay, M Woods. There's one more, yeah. You would have thought for March I would have worked on this. Have I? No. I did in January. Celtic Band Sampler. And here's my called for. I did not change anything there. I think I did take that back. I darkened one of the blues. But this is what I've gotten done. This is on Lollybrook. And I know this is really mottled, but I liked how it looked old. And you can see the stitching well, so that's what I've gotten so far. Most of the time I don't use as mottled. I like slightly mottled, like on M Wood. And what is she on? 46 count. I think this is Thornfield. Has just a slight mottling. I know this Lollybrook has a lot more, but I like it for this. And when I hold it way back, it might be too mottled, but you can see everything's showing up well. So I want to work on that too. Of course, I want to work on all of it. There's one more thing to show you. You saw this last time, but I really would like to get a start on it. I'm missing one color that I'm going to pick up. Hopefully the attic has it. This is Hands Across the Sea. This was new in December to celebrate Hands Across the Sea anniversary. Elizabeth Dinsdale. Benji's right next to me. You okay there, buddy? I'm thinking just the ticket for the linen. That might be what they used. I haven't picked linen yet, but I want to start that. I just love that. And here I've got all the flosses. I showed this last time in this box. Let me open it up. So I'm missing one. So there's all the colors. So I think that's it. Well, I was thinking it was going to be 2 hours, but I don't think it's that long. Just over an hour, maybe. 40, hour 15, maybe. So that's good, because I showed you a lot. So anyway, that's where we're at. Will I be coming back in a couple weeks? No, because I'm going to be gone in a couple weeks. So it'll probably be 3 to 4 weeks before I'm back. I think that's it. I want to thank you for joining me. If you know those designs, put it in the comments. I appreciate all the comments. I appreciate when you all give the, the thumbs up, when you like the video, recommend it to your friends. I know many of you have floss tubes and have mentioned me, and I appreciate all that. Your comments. And I know some of you are watching on a TV and it's hard to leave comments, and I understand that as well. I just appreciate that you enjoy this because I enjoy sharing it. I just enjoy stitching, and I think FlossTube, well, first of all, it does enable us, doesn't it? But I enjoy seeing what people are working on the different linens or Aida. I love seeing, are they using DMC? Are they using silks? Are they using hand dyes? Because if you see, I use all of it. And it helps to see what people are working on, helps me at least see, okay, that's possible, that works, I like that, think about that, I might do that. Just kind of get an idea. But until next time, I want to wish you happy stitching. Thank you for joining me, and bye everybody.